Thanks for listening to the Career Planning Show. You can listen to a new episode every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or any other platform where podcasts are shared. If you'd like to ask me a question, you can submit it via email at alex@rascanu.com. I'm Alex Rascanu, and I'm coming to you from the Staples Studio in Midtown Toronto, Canada. You are joining a conversation about who you are, what work you are born to do, where you can do it, and how to get there. Today, we have the pleasure of discussing career planning with Gabriela Casineanu. Gabriela is an award-winning author whose journey of self-discovery saw her make a number of transitions along her career path, from engineering and a Master of Business Administration to career coaching, writing, and teaching. She enjoys sharing tips and strategies that help introverts ace their job interviews and boost their careers, even during the COVID-19 pandemic. Welcome to the Career Planning Show. Our guest today is Gabriela Casineanu. Gabriela, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey?
That's a very good question, and I like that you call it a journey because I consider it a self-discovery journey. And I think all of us will need to start at one point this self-discovery journey. For me, it kind of started back in the childhood when everybody's telling you what to do. And if it's not aligned with who you really are, you get confused. You don't know what you want. So when I started school, I was not good at math, and my mom helped me to become better at math and analytical skills, and I became so good at that because the rest of the years in school, I was the best at math and physics, so it became logical to go into engineering.
That's right, and so you became an engineer.
Electronics engineering, yeah, and I was in that field, technical field, for 18 years. But gradually I figured out that I'm not satisfied. I don't get satisfaction from what I'm doing. Something was missing and I didn't know what it is. So I was looking around to see what the economy needs, what kind of courses are available, just to figure out, and I still couldn't. And I went into an MBA. And what happened at that point, I realized that actually I don't want to use what I learned in the MBA to become a CEO or a manager, because I like to help people, not tell people what to do. And it was a little bit too much for me. And what added to that was I became more frustrated because now I was seeing a lot of things that can be improved, but I didn't have the power from the level I was in that specific company. And I switched to IT programming and quality assurance, and I came to Canada. So that was a point when I said, I'm coming to Canada because I want to change my career. I don't know in what direction, but that's my plan. And what happened in the first 2 weeks, I met 2 coaches, and I never heard about coaching before coming here. This was 2003.
Yes.
And I went through a job search workshop, and the guy was one of the coaches, and he asked us to check on a list of skills, how many of these skills you want to use in the career of your dreams.
Yes.
And the next question was, how many of these did you use up to now? And for me, it was like 2 things totally different. And I've got a huge aha that you don't have to look outside to figure out what you want. You have to start looking inside.
Really try to understand yourself.
Exactly. So that's what I did. I started creating a list of things that I would like to have in the career of my dreams. And I didn't put in terms of a profession, more in terms of the skills that I want to use, how I want to feel, in what kind of environment. I want an environment with big windows and sunlight and to help people. So I added all this, and I gave myself 3 years to get to transition to the Canadian life.
That's very interesting. So you said, go. 3 years from now, I'm really going to have a very different environment that I'm working in, something that's a lot more fulfilling. So what happened next?
So during that time, I was filling up my list. And when I figured out this is the time, I looked at my list. It was 3 years after. I looked up and down and down and up and up and down, and only one word came to mind was coaching. I still didn't know much about coaching at the time, but I went back to those 2 people that I met in the first 2 weeks. I'm like, what is coaching? What did you do to become a coach?
Yes.
And interesting enough, they both went through the same coaching school, and they start taking courses with the same school.
Yes.
And after the first weekend, I was like, that's it. That's my new direction. It was such a good fit for my personality that I didn't look back.
Yes.
People were like, why do you throw away engineering and you go into a totally different direction? For me, it was so natural because it was something that fitted me very well. So that's how I transitioned to coaching. Then I start looking into how I can shift in terms of jobs from an engineering position to something that I can use coaching.
Yes.
And I found one of the non-profit organizations was starting a mentoring program for professional newcomers.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm a professional, I have coaching skills. I applied and I got the position. I never ran a program before, not even started like this one. But I was so enthusiastic about the fact that I'm using the skills and I can help others. So all the things that I was looking for, and I ran that program for 5 years. And while I was running the program, I realized I don't have enough mentors. So what I did, I started creating workshops.
Yes.
If I can provide them mentors, at least I can put them in a room and teach them whatever I knew up to that point.
Yes.
So that's how I developed my public speaking skills. And I started realizing, actually, I like to be in the front of the room.
Yes. Was there a specific topic that you were really passionate teaching about?
Would you like to know?
Yes.
One of them was how your own mindset affects your job search. So I was bringing coaching into the employment field. Another one was attitudes for effective communication. Another one was effective strategies for social media, especially LinkedIn, to use job search.
Yes.
So I wasn't giving them just information. I was working on to help them on their mindset, to build a more successful mindset, how to become better in communicating with others.
Yes.
So I switched gradually from engineering to program development to coaching and workshops. So it became natural to become a university instructor. And at one point, I was still doing a lot of workshops. I was working in an employment center helping professionals find jobs. And I was doing workshops every day.
Yes.
And, for an introvert, it's too much.
That's actually why I want to ask you, because I was recently reading one of your books, and I remember reading a little bit about the story and how you became burnt out doing so much teaching every day when, as an introvert, you would want to have some more downtime in order to recuperate and get back into the groove of teaching. There's need for more space in between the teaching sessions,
right? You need to recharge your batteries. And I didn't have the chance to. Even I was sleeping 12 hours every night and weekends. And so my body really got into a burnout, and I couldn't speak for 4 months. And while I was in that period of time when I couldn't do much, I couldn't walk normally, my body was very weak, I asked myself, what do I do the rest of my life?
Yes.
If I can't speak anymore? And the next thought was, write a book, a job search guide for introverts. I'm like, that's interesting. I never thought of writing that book. But by that time, I already had more than 10 years experience in applying coaching to employment counseling.
Yes.
So it came totally natural to bring my experience and the examples and coaching perspective to the employment counseling, and that's how I start writing, and I fall in love with it.
Which is really fascinating. So I think there's more than one person listening who, dreams of becoming an author one day. How did you go about the process of writing a book and self-publishing? Would you mind just briefly highlighting that? Because I know that you did end up creating a nonprofit organization where you're helping immigrants, break into the publishing industry, and you're very supportive in that environment. Share a little bit about, how one becomes an author beside the very basic fact that you need to write a book. How do you, share your journey perhaps about, becoming an author?
So for me, that thought that I have to write this book came with so much energy. And I was so excited about writing that book that I didn't think about, English is not my first language. I never wrote a book. What people will think about, all these inner thoughts that usually come when you start something new. So what I did, I just dived into writing.
Yes.
And what I did, I put down all my ideas. Then I grouped them into chapters. I reorganize them in each chapter. Then I organize the chapters in a sequence, so I take the reader on a journey.
Yes.
You start at this point, you have to go through this and that. And so as soon as I have that map and the journey, I start writing. And while I was writing for 10 months, I was writing up to 7-8 hours a day. I was also learning about self-publishing, because I was looking into being published traditionally by a publishing house. But I wanted to get the book out as soon as possible, and they usually take at least 1-2 years until it's out. And they also want to have their saying, this should go here, move this here, and I have a lot of experience. I didn't want someone else to interfere with my content. So I learned how to self-publish, and it's very easy when you know what are the platforms. For example, self-publishing authors go with Amazon, and they have a free portal where you upload the files and they go directly to Amazon. So it's not too much to learn, but you have to be willing to learn, because it's a totally different field.
Yes.
So once I learned and I realized that actually now I have a book, but people have to know about it, it became more a business aspect to promote it and to let people know and build credibility, because yesterday you were an engineer, a coach, now you're an author. People don't know what to expect. So I realized that there might be other immigrants like me who want to get into writing and publishing, and that's how I started the Immigrant Writers Association.
That's great. That's wonderful. And one aspect that you're really focusing on within a context of career development is particularly supporting introverts with figuring out what are their skills, what are their talents, once they do get a job, how it is that they can progress within that organization. There's positives, and there's also some challenges that come with being an introvert. Would you mind speaking about career development for introverts? Some tips, some ideas that you found helpful and others have found helpful?
For me, it was a revelation when I found out that I'm an introvert. And with the people that I discussed, those who are introverts, it's the same thing. When you start realizing that there is someone else like you, and you start going deeper into understanding what are the characteristics of introverts, you realize that introverts and extroverts have complementary characteristics. Totally different one from another. And we live in a society that appreciates more the behavior of extroverted people.
Yes.
So we feel like outsiders. Add to that the fact that we don't like to interact too much because it's draining our energy. So we're kind of isolating ourselves. So we feel that we are the only one, maybe I'm the only one who is weird, everyone else is talking, it's appreciated by the society. So you have to learn more about yourself.
Yes.
First, learn if you are an introvert or not. There are tests like Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, MBTI, that helps you understand if you are an introvert. And then you can go into a book like Do What You Are.
Yes.
Where it helps you understand if you have a certain personality type. There are certain professions that can align with your personality type. For me, it was funny because I find out that I'm an introvert and which professions are better for me after I switched to coaching. So first I used my intuition to go into that shift, and then I was validated by the tests and the books I was reading. So the first thing is that saying know yourself. Once you know yourself, what are your innate characteristics as an introvert, you can start using them as your strengths.
Yes.
For example, introverts are strategic thinkers. How many job interviews test that skill? Introverts are great of dealing with and managing complex projects.
Yes.
To deal with abstract concepts.
Yes.
How many job interviews are testing those skills? So introverts are facing more barriers in terms of finding a job than extroverts.
That's right. So most interviews will really qualify you as to, how interactive you are, how good your communication skills are, but the testing component is not always present. And that's something that can really allow introverts to showcase their talents.
Exactly. Plus, introverts, we like to do a good job. We don't like to talk about what we're doing.
Yes.
We're like, give me the job and I'll show you how good I am. But it's not how it's working. They want to know about what you can do for them before they give you the job. So things are going in a totally different way for introverts and extroverts.
So let's imagine that a person is identifies themselves as being an introvert based on the MBTI test. They really think through some of their skills, some of their talents. Now they're going into an interview for, let's say, a data analytics manager role. Are there any tactics that they can use in the interview to better showcase who they are in order to be able to win against someone who maybe is more introverted, more extroverted?
Sure. That's why I wrote that book, to help introverts understand there are strategies I can use before, during, and after the interview.
And you mean introverts leverage your strengths for an effective job search?
That's the book I'm talking about, yes. Because what you can do first, take an inventory of the skills and accomplishments that you have before you go to the interview, and prepare them in a way to show what was the situation, what you did, and what was the result, what we call it situation, action, result. Because if you prepare it in advance, while you are in an interview, even if you're stressed because of the fact that you are in the interview and you deal with an authority figure, that's what you think. So if you prepare before, you're more open to share this.
Yes.
And you don't sell yourself by doing this. You make the employer a service to understand what are your achievements, and they will translate in how this could work for them. Mm-hmm. So you have to consider the employer actually like your equal.
Yes.
They need you and your skills and your experience, expertise, and you need them. Mm-hmm. So actually think that you're in a partnership. Mm-hmm. And the goal is a common objective. Mm-hmm. For the employer will be to achieve their company objectives. For you will be to help the employer achieve that, and in the same time to build the skills that take you to the next level in your career. Mm-hmm. So don't stop at the interview level and get frustrated or stressed out that if I don't pass, it's the end of the world, because there might be other interviews for you, maybe even better, other opportunities. Try to do the best that you can to show, just talk about the achievements. It's not about you, it's about what other saw as the results of what you did. Mm-hmm. So it's a way of distancing yourself and allowing the achievements talk for you. About your how good you are, how you can help the employer. So prepare well in advance. While you are in the interview, pay attention to what's going on the other side.
Yes.
Because introverts are great observers.
Yes.
So you notice if you talk too long and they might feel bored, you can stop there and let the discussion flow. Or if you notice they're excited about something, add something new to kind of help them understand that it's even more that you can bring to the table. So pay attention to those little aspects that you observe in the other person, and this helps you to not pay attention to your own inner thoughts. Oh, I forgot to say this at the previous question, or what do you think about this? Forget about that. Just be there and focus on the other side of the table.
And think how you can add as much value as possible to them. Exactly. Within the context of the interview conversation that you're having. That's great.
And we also like to help people. So you're there to help. Mm-hmm. You're there to help the employer understand how your expertise can help them.
Yes.
So focus on that, how you can project better that image of what they can get if they hire you.
That's great. Would you mind sharing a little bit about the Introverts University project that you've been working on recently? What are some of the resources that you're putting together? How someone could find it helpful? Mm-hmm.
First of all, I want to say why I wanted to start this project. Because while I was working in the employment field, from a coaching perspective, I noticed that a lot of information is more targeted to extroverts. I even have someone who reviewed this book about introverts and job search. She was a hiring manager, and she said that usually a manager likes to read the person in front of them to get a better understanding who they hire. And because the introverts talk a lot, they think they know who they hire. And introverts don't like to talk too much, so they don't know exactly, so they prefer not to hire such a person. So I wanted with this Introverts University to create courses, webinars, group coaching, mastermind groups that target directly to introverts to understand how they can use their strengths to advance in their life, in their careers. Because it's a totally different approach. While I was doing workshop, I was telling people, if you are an introvert, you can use these strategies. You as an extrovert, you can use these strategies. You both can go toward your goals, but you might need to use a different group of strategies that might work for you. It's not the same for everyone, and you can adjust in time. If something is not working, you can adjust to another one. Introverts are very good at research, for example.
Yes.
Why not using that in your job search when you prepare for the position? So you can show up in a much better way in front of the employer. So use your strengths, and that's what the university is about. First, let people know who are introverts. I have a quiz on the website to figure out if you're an introvert or an extrovert. Then understand the characteristics of introverts, introversion and extroversion. Then how you consider them as strengths and how you apply them in whatever you need, in whatever situation you are, in whatever challenge you want to overcome, if you want to move your career forward, how you take this knowledge and apply it so you improve your life overall.
If someone is finding the COVID-19 pandemic and the lockdowns that have been occurring in Canada and all around the world rather challenging, they're an introvert. They maybe lost their job, or they've been in the process of looking for a job, and they've been finding it rather difficult with fewer jobs being available, and having to communicate over Zoom once they get an interview as opposed to in person. Do you have any thoughts about how someone who finds themselves to be an introvert can break through some of the challenges that are associated with the current environment that we're living in?
I think, first of all, we have to think that we are on a journey. We are a part of a process. This COVID-19 pandemic is just part of your journey called life. So it's not only what is it right now, it's about how you can use this period of time to prepare for the next part of your journey.
Yep.
So when you look from this perspective, and introverts are very good at strategic thinking.
Yes.
They are very good at looking at what are the opportunities, what are the things that I can do right now to prepare for a better future. So the fact that everything is slowing down right now, actually it's a great opportunity to figure out, am I in the right direction? Do I need to change something? If I'm in the right direction, what can I use? What can I learn right now? What can I do right now to help me when the economy starts?
Yes.
You can also look at what are the opportunities right now, because not everything is down. I noticed a lot of positions, for example, in learning and development, especially online. So if you have such skills, it's your opportunity to look where you can use those skills. It might be in a different field. Maybe you were in banking and now you might be able to go into another kind of field.
Like healthcare.
Healthcare. It's booming, right? So be flexible to see, and don't look at your career like, this profession, that's it. Actually, you are in that profession because you're using certain skills. You can use those skills in another profession. You can learn new skills. You can develop skills that you never thought before. I never know that I will start writing or I will start doing workshops and other things. So you develop yourself in the process. And if you want one specific advice, start a project. your own project, something that is meaningful to you, something that you care about. Because when you dedicate yourself to a project that it's very important to you, that energy from inside will help you to take actions, to move forward, will attract people toward you. And you will build that project, and in that process you will gain new skills. You will learn something. It will take you somewhere that you couldn't imagine before.
Yeah, and you'll showcase your skills on an ongoing basis.
Exactly. You can put it on your resume.
It's
right. Not that you don't have a job. It's that you have experience.
Yes, that's right. That's great. Are there any final thoughts that you would like to share with our listeners? Any lesson or idea or resource that we haven't had the chance to cover so far in this episode?
There are books that people should read, I think, and we love reading.
Yes.
Especially, I don't like to read fiction. I like to read non-fiction. So if you're like me, read books like Quiet by Susan Cain, because you will learn. I took out more than 160 introvert characteristics from that book.
Yes.
And I consider them strengths, and that's how I wrote the other book, because I showed how to use these strengths in a job search, for example.
Yes.
So that will help you understand yourself better. There are books like The Quiet Lessons for Introverts, that it's the one where I interviewed you, where I interviewed introverts, how they overcame challenges by using their strengths. So you don't have to go through these books thinking that you have to learn everything. It's just to open your mind of what's possible. And the most important thing that I want to share is use your intuition. It's your inner guide, and not many people direct us toward our intuition, because everyone wants to dump information on you, and they want you to buy and use whatever they tell you. But actually, the intuition is our inner guide.
Yes.
So if you, from time to time, take breaks and go for a walk, and pay attention what you feel like doing.
Yes.
What ideas are coming to you? This idea of Introverts University came to me last December. I was just taking a break from everything I was doing because I was feeling tired. For a week I didn't do anything. And this new idea came up, and I was so excited that I was jumping into it and start working on whatever I need. I created a website, introvertsuniversity.com, and now I'm filling it with information and a quiz and a list to download if they want to download a list of 30 introvert strengths. And I'm preparing the webinar, so you can see how passionate I am about this.
Yes, for sure. You definitely take your own advice, develop a new project and then run with it, which is what you're doing, and it's great.
And what's happening? People are coming. Look, I attracted 4 interviews about introverts since I announced people that I'm launching this new project. So the universe is cooperating when you follow your path, when you align with what the intuition is telling you, when you align with who you really are. Forget about whatever else are telling you. You have to have that strength to go forward, follow your path. Even people are saying no, if people don't know what you know. So if you feel that something is true to you, just move on. Even if you don't believe that you will get somewhere, try it. And when you try it, you'll see you get good results, so you have more courage next time and more courage. So that's how you build your assertiveness and the courage to follow your path.
Gabriela, thank you so much for taking part in this interview for the Career Planning Show. Really appreciate your time. You're definitely very busy with a lot of projects on the go. I think there are quite a few lessons to take away, and the resources that you mentioned we'll definitely put in the episode's description so others can check them out. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to the Career Planning Show. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the show and share it with a friend. For more episodes, you can find the Career Planning Show on demand wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also find me on the main social media platforms by following at ALEXRASCANU.